Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. I'm your host, Hoot Hobbs. With me, as always, Mr. BT, Brendan Torres.
What's up, y'all?
So we did little to no preparation for anything.
None at all. We almost
had,
like we forgot we did a damn show.
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you got anything to talk about tonight? I was like, why? What's tonight? He's like, we're recording, right? I was like, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, now I see.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. Yeah, I should have some stuff and some things. And, we got some stuff and some things.
Things and stuff 2.0.
Things and stuff. Yeah, that's right. Things and stuff 2.0. But first thing, I got a little shade thrown at me over our stance on the Brittany Griner fiasco.
Oh, over the comparisons of if this were insert other famous male athlete here, she would be home by now.
Yes. Okay. So here's the deal. This is first off, I'm going to clarify. This is not the person that commented on
the post.
The post.
Okay.
That's not who.
I didn't think it was.
No, that dude's actually a homie of mine. He's a good dude.
I figured he seemed like it was. He didn't sound like the one throwing shade.
Right. No, it definitely was not him.
It also seems like if he threw shade, he'd be straight up about it because he seemed like that guy in the comments. So.
Yeah. But it was basically the same opinion. Okay, but it was like, she knew what she did. She knew it was illegal. She shouldn't have done it. I'm like, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And they're like, well, you're sitting there saying she shouldn't be in prison. And I'm like, no, I said she shouldn't be in a Russian prison.
Yeah.
I was like, and he was like, so you don't think she should be punished at all? I was like, look, bro, she knew it was illegal. She did what she did. She pled guilty. She's going to get something.
She's been in jail.
Yeah, she's been in jail for a month or since February.
Yeah, since February.
Let's up that to 4 months. Bro, you don't get that here for a small amount of pot, you know?
No.
I mean, I'm basing this off old information. I haven't arrested anyone in quite some time.
Been a minute, but hey.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, you don't get that kind of stuff. I don't know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I clarified. I was like, no. My stance is, don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
That's always been your stance.
Yeah, that's always been my stance. If you're going to do something wrong, be
I'll
good
say
at it.
even, back in the hood days, that was even your stance.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
and if you get jammed up, don't mention my name.
yeah, right.
That's it. But
Don't say
yeah. Shh. Anyway, so Brittany Griner did what she did. She deserves to be punished in some form. I don't care about that. The only thing I am trying to point out is the double standard that is there. That if it had been the one we used was LeBron,
because that was the one that his coach had used or her coach. Excuse me.
Exactly. If it were LeBron, he would have been home in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I don't know that 48 hours would be anywhere close to how fast he would be home. But I'm just saying he would not have sat in Russia in a prison for 4 months over a small amount of pot. There's just no way.
First of all, he would have flopped 5 feet away from the vape pen,
Yeah,
and then blamed it on somebody else.
Yes.
And then complained to the police officer.
And then, I went to the cops, started pointing at Russ. I've been like, what?
But seriously, no. I guess what we didn't do is we didn't do this fairly. We could have said this could be insert female celebrity here, a Kardashian here. I would
start a movement
to keep
them in Russia.
I would too, but what I'm trying to say is
Yeah.
that's the same thing. Is they have so much money, so much fame, and so much wealth that so many people are going to make such a big deal about
Yeah,
it
exactly.
that they're going to bring them in. It was because of her lesser fame. It was because
really
of
was.
her lesser.
Hey, Brittany Griner got her. Who?
First, you got to kind of explain who Brittany Griner
Yeah,
is.
who's that?
I mean, you don't have to explain it to us, but
Right, we're basketball fans.
But we're the guys that have the bad opinion here.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're the ones that have actually watched WNBA games, know who Brittany Griner is.
Yeah, and let me tell you, don't make no mistake. I am not a WNBA fan at all.
Unless you're a big fan of fundamentals, that's really what you're getting.
No, for the record, I am a fan of fundamental basketball.
Yeah,
and there are some clean layups in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Bro, clean layups. I ain't talking Euro steps. No, I'm talking one arm up, one leg up.
Yeah, crisp passes too. It's crisp passes and some nice jump shots, honestly. But that's
where we need to start investing is in the WNBA.
Maybe
Bring back fundamentals.
You know what? I have this wild theory that it is going to have an uptick as a result of this outcry.
Yeah.
And we're not going to touch it because we've talked about our sports show this week. We'll
Yeah.
address that later.
Sure.
But also during the WNBA All-Star Game, there's been an outrage over the size of the little bitty MVP trophy and how poorly manufactured it looks cheap.
Yeah, I
Well-
say whenever you get to,
Well, here's the other thing about that, though. How many of you people that are outraged watch
Watch the
that
game.
WNBA All-Star game?
How many of you saw that trophy being presented? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, because if you're actually watching that and you watch it every year and get more and more outraged, guess what you're doing? You're actually giving more and more money. And so you're actually justifying your outrage.
Yes.
But if you're not going to do
If you're
anything
not
to
a
help the
supporter of it,
team, yeah,
all you-
then don't complain. Don't jump on a virtue signaling tour bus. Oh, it's women's
Because
rights.
that is not what this is. It is
No.
not that. It has it has to do with the amount of money that is invested into the league by
Right.
comparison of the big four
Yeah.
sports leagues in our country. But it's, if this is something that the players are upset about, then it's something that they could come to a collective bargaining agreement with.
Yeah.
And have added into their contracts that they negotiate with these owners of these franchises.
Yeah.
This isn't a sexist thing. This is a classist thing.
Yeah.
This is the rich versus the poor, not.
I say, and if you listen to this show at all, you have heard that is a very, very similar theme throughout this. Look at these captivating, polarizing problems that we have, right? We've had plenty of them, especially over the past 6 years. Okay. But the biggest problem has always been we're pitting each other, we're pitting against each other
Yeah.
way too much. It's like, bro, it's not really a black-white thing. It's not really a man-woman thing.
Because what that does is it takes away from the instances when it is a black-white
Exactly.
thing. When
That's
it is
it.
a male-female thing. Like
Yeah.
the wage gap is
Yeah.
a legitimate issue.
Sure.
Now, whenever you're going to talk about this trophy situation, this isn't. This is something that has to do with this trophy not
Yeah.
meeting the standards. Perhaps somebody should
But
complain and up that standard.
Yeah, sure. I agree. Hey, squeaky wheels get greased. I understand.
If this is really an issue, somebody needs to
Speak
speak
up
about
and
it,
say it,
and not,
yeah.
like you said, someone who wants to use this as something to
Yeah.
gain political favor.
Exactly. The jumping on the virtue signaling tour bus is so annoying. Like, look, man, because people who actually do believe in their cause and they're standing by it, there's something honorable. And look, I don't have to agree with it to say that there's something honorable about it. But whenever you're a tourist and you just keep like, I just want to be a whiny troublemaker my whole life, so I got to find a new thing to complain about online to make me feel better about me. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, that in itself also takes away from the agenda of the true people who are out there
Yeah.
in the trenches fighting that battle.
Yeah, like
the
I said,
people who
it does
actually
not-
out there doing the marches and the protesting and doing the legwork and doing the research
Yeah.
and having the meetings and the rallies and doing these things. You make their efforts for naught whenever you jump onto that and you weaken their argument because you're not in there for the real reason. You're only in there because you want to be a part of this movement.
Yeah.
Or you have an agenda against someone who doesn't agree with that particular point.
yeah.
Like we've always said, come to your own thought.
Yeah.
Don't think with how you lean politically. Think
Oh,
about
God,
the
bro.
situation.
But in
and then
today's world, that's
analyze it.
impossible.
I know they can't. No one.
I'm going to say we
We as people can't seem to separate our.
politics from our everything else.
It just seems to be.
It's a
seeking
poison.
in. Yeah, and toxic. It's toxicity.
Yeah, and it's just seeped into everything and everyone we love and care about, to where it's like, hey man, do you want to go play golf on Sunday? I would, but you voted for
Ralph
Joe
Nader.
Biden. And I'm like, what are you talking about right now? I just ask about golf. I have
Yeah.
nothing to, you know what I mean?
It's irrelevant unless it's something that is truly, this is a groundbreaker. We can't get past this.
Sure,
We're
but
going to have to agree to disagree, and we can't hang out because this is something we can't get over. But you and I are a perfect example of how it works because you can talk about it. You
Yeah.
can respectfully agree to disagree.
Yep.
You can get your points in.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I don't want to try to make you agree with me
Exactly.
because that's not how I want you to ever come to a conclusion.
Well, that and I don't want to treat anyone. I mean, especially
Yeah,
a friend.
anybody.
But I don't want to treat anyone like that. It's like you will agree with me, or you will not be in my life.
Right.
Look, I'm not going to even lie. Listen. I have lived that life. I have had that mindset, and it didn't work, and it made me miserable. And so I tried really, really hard, and I opened my mind up, and I started looking at the other side that I disagreed with, and then realized I still disagreed with it. But I didn't have to get butthurt about it. It was
Yeah.
just
And
okay.
it also didn't mean that everything that you thought you disagreed with, you ended up disagreeing with.
Sure.
But you still took the time to think about it
Yeah.
for yourself.
Sure.
And not think about it because, hey, this is what my parents said, or this
Yeah.
is what my friends said.
Yeah.
Or this is what I heard on the news.
Yeah. I mean,
This is what I saw on Facebook.
yeah. I'd be like, oh, what? They're like, no, I saw it on the Hoot Hob Show Facebook page. I'm like, don't believe anything you see on that. Are you
It's
serious?
mostly memes.
I'm saying like 95% of it's dank memes, and the other 5% is complete rubbish. I mean, it just is.
Wait,
It's
did
not-
your math that up? Because you got to leave 1% for bulls.
oh, that is.
There's always a
You know what?
There's always a Michael Jordan, a Derrick Rose.
yeah,
There's
that
something
sneaks out.
separate in there.
Damar is just a dash of Damar in there every once in a while.
I'll share a Lonzo Ball highlight reel
because that's all we have from the first 10
35
games of the season.
and counting the preseason.
Yeah,
It's funny they
right.
did.
Oh, they had to.
In the highlights they did. Now they were on fire from the preseason through the injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did do that. They included the preseason games in the highlight reel.
Of course. Well, I mean, you kind of had to.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But the point is that you and I, we don't always agree with everything.
Like,
but
you and I stand completely against each other on certain topics.
Yeah.
But you know what we do? And people are like, just don't talk about them. Nope.
No.
We talk about them. It's just we respect each other enough not to be dicks.
yeah,
I mean, and honestly, it's not even that hard. Like, and don't get me wrong,
No.
you'll say something, and just like vice versa, and I'm sure it'll make you kind of go, "That's so stupid." But
But-
but at the same time, you don't say that's so stupid. You go, brother, I just don't see it that way.
yeah, and then it's like, okay, it's like, well, we may talk about it again. It's like, yeah, probably, but
But that's the whole thing. If you show each other mutual respect, Jesus, I mean, your life will get a lot easier.
and also your life will be a lot happier if you don't find these soapboxes to die on.
For real,
Like
listen,
if you could have your opinion,
Yeah.
and we have our opinions,
yeah,
but
and I love getting on my soapbox.
Yeah, you damn sure
Yeah.
do. But I still want to go home. I still want to sometimes take all of those feels and all of those thoughts and those opinions and set them aside so I can relax and enjoy life and live in the moment
Yeah.
and love and be happy
and
enjoy
have
peace.
a crazy Christian right wing conservative buddy.
Yeah.
You want to know why?
buck the system, right?
Yeah, because they say we can't.
I know.
We're-
It makes me. I'm that guy as well.
Yeah,
that
we
they tell
cross
me
the
that
lines.
they tell me that I can't do it. I'm going to spend every effort I can to prove
Yeah.
you wrong.
Yeah, I mean, why? But why not be spiteful in that way? Because in that way, I believe that's a positive spin on being spiteful.
Yeah.
You can't be friends with this person because they're so different than you. I'll be like, isn't that kind of the point of being friends with somebody? Is that you get to experience someone who is different than you?
Well, it's like you and I both have African American friends.
Yes.
We have a lot
Shout
of
out, Nate
people
Dogg.
that we've been around in our lives that were friends of ours that don't share those same common
Oh,
sensibilities.
you talking about them fellers?
Yeah, I'm talking about them fellers.
Yeah. I
and
know a few.
As time goes on, of course, the more hate and bigotry that comes out of these people, the less we are a part
Yeah,
of
you
their
just don't
circle.
associate with them.
But we have been around all of that, and we didn't let that seep into us because you and I have always tried to take people as people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like you. It does not. Your race isn't going to be the reason.
Oh no! There are plenty of.
It's going to be a personality conflict.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll never forget. I won't say any names here, but I will say it involves me and a black man. And back whenever I was working as a jailer, he was incarcerated. I can tell you that this was not a case of wrongdoing in any way. This man was guilty, and he was happy to tell you all about how he slung dope. So I was like, okay, you're all right with me. At least you're honest, right?
Yeah.
Well, he and I never had any issues, but he was always one of those who's like, yeah, it's because you're white, you don't like me. And I'd look at him and be like, no. I said, I promise it's not because I'm white, you know. And I know that was a weird way of wording it, and I was thinking that too. I was leaving, and I looked at this other gentleman. His name, I can't say his name.
It's funny you'd phrase it that way, but I remember when you were a deputy, and that was your attitude.
Yeah.
You didn't. There was no malice there. It was just
Yeah.
simply, I don't like you because you're a criminal.
Yeah, I was like, it's not because I'm white and you're black. It's because I'm a cop and you're a criminal.
Yeah,
I don't like
I'm a
you.
cop. You're a robber. I'm the good guy. You're the bad guy in this.
Right,
scenario.
you know. And I mean, like, I don't even know if I ever looked at it like that. I always kind of thought we were all bad guys, but
Some worse than others.
yeah, some just a little worse than others. But I was usually like, it don't even have the fact to do with you're a criminal. It has to do with the fact that you annoy me all day long. I come into this cell just to make sure that you're not like hurting yourself or each other, making sure that you have enough toilet paper, and you know, and
All the requests. Yeah.
yeah, all hey, can we get a filet mignon here? I'm like, filet, got it. Yeah, how do you want it? You know what? I got you. You know, I'm taking
Sometimes
order.
it felt like that, didn't it?
It did. And so I would always tell him, like, there was this, I can't say his name, man. Anyway, there was a gentleman in there who
Fake name, Busta.
yeah. No, that doesn't work.
Too close.
No. It's just there's no way this dude was a buster. He was. Listen, this man's earlobes had muscles. Okay, he was like 6'7". I would say a easy
Bad John.
240 pounds. He was just.
Well, we can just call him just generic John or something. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, John. So John.
Big bad John. He was what we called a pod father. Okay, so like he was kind of he was the block boss. You know?
Father of podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah.
What? Anyway, no, he was he was kind of the cell block boss, right?
Yeah.
So on my way out of Lincoln, I was like,
John.
So I said, John. And as I start to talk, this gentleman comes back up and he was like, hey man, you said you didn't like me. I said you didn't like me because I was black or because you were white. And I said, yeah. He goes, and then you said to me, it's not because you're white. And I said, yeah, it's not because I'm white. And he goes, I just realized what you're saying. I said, I hope you did because at this point I'm lost, you know. He was like, it's not because you're white, it's because I'm black. And I finally just looked at him. I was like, man, honestly, it's just because you're annoying as shit. I'm sorry. I can't. I got to just tell you the truth. It's because you're annoying. I was like, just go away. Just leave me alone. And this John,
Yeah.
ever so helpful. He knew that if I got annoyed, I would probably like suspend yard time, you know,
Yeah.
because you know what I mean.
You
Like,
have the ability and the authority to do things like that, especially if
Sure.
he's purposely
holding me up from doing
he's,
something
he's
else.
harassing you just to get under your skin.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I understand. It's like a detention thing.
But ever so helpful, John. He was like, Mr. Hobbs, I'll talk to him. I was like, oh God, please don't. I was like,
please don't get shivved on my count.
yeah, it's like, don't, please don't help the police right now. And he was like, oh no, don't worry, we're good. I was like, all right, whatever. Like I come back up. As soon as I get up there, homeboy stands up, straight to his bunk, chills out there, doesn't come up and talk to me anymore. I was like, man, I don't know what he said, but he really took care of me. You know, I was
Yeah.
brand new. I was Daisy Fresh
Yeah.
at this point. And yeah, I found out later he beat up a little bit, but I was like, man, y'all ain't got to do it like that. Like I ain't trying to get people knocked off in here. I'm just saying, like, let me go down and eat my crappy sandwich, and then I'll come back and maybe then I'll help him. I didn't know it was going to come to this.
I imagine if I recall, because I recall a couple where it was a request after a request after a request after
Oh,
a request
God,
after
yeah.
a request.
And
you get
after
through
I had
fulfilling
been-
you get through fulfilling a quest. The next thing you know, you're being summoned again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and after I had been there for a while, like I never really let inmates run over me. Luckily, I was just too much of a smart aleck and
Talker.
I'll get in a fight.
Yeah.
Like I'll get in a fight. I don't care. Whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the way I was. Not now. I am
you were-
old and fat. Leave me alone. I've got a. I got a piece on me. You heard
Fresh
me?
out of the military, you were
Yeah.
young,
Piss and vinegar.
aggressive. There was
Yeah.
a different person then.
Yeah, definitely.
But life lessons for sure.
Lots of valuable ones.
Yeah.
Lots of valuable ones. And you know, I didn't learn them from the people I thought I was going to learn them from. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting how that when
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah, it
right?
really is, man,
Like I
because-
feel like I've learned more from the things that have been done wrong to me than the things that
Yeah,
ever
absolutely.
happened positively in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the positive ones, you don't take the time to really soak it in. You revel in that good feeling, but you don't really take the time to soak it in. Like, man, that was really a plan coming together. You're just like, all right, that worked. All right, sweet. Now let's forget about it and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
But you have the slightest failure, and you'll turn into Eeyore for a month. I mean, at least I do.
I feel attacked.
It's not much of a house for not much of a donkey.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's me. Can we use the hashtag Free Britney?
For the name of the episode.
Just in general, you remember the whole conservatorship for Britney Spears?
I can
just reuse it.
There probably is something trending on Twitter right now.
Except for
Let's be
Free
real.
Britney.
Yeah, Free Britney or something. But
Joe Rogan's going to talk about this tomorrow
probably.
because we're recording it tonight.
That still keeps happening where we talk about it now and then he talks about it and his episode comes out same day. Ours comes out Friday, so look who looks like
Yeah.
who's tailing who.
Yeah, exactly. We're always like, hey,
Check the live stream.
Yeah, check it. You got to go back and look at YouTube. They're like, we're not doing that. I'm Joe Rogan. I'm like, that's actually a fair point. Yeah, I'm
Like,
not
well, can we get a T-shirt?
yeah, can I at least get a T-shirt?
We're back to the original thing.
Okay.
She would be home if she were of a bigger name.
Yeah.
That was what you were trying to say the
Yeah,
entire thing.
yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
male, female.
Yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't-
black, white, wasn't
Right.
gay, straight.
Nah, it was just like she wasn't. Okay,
She doesn't make
listen,
as much money. She's not as famous as LeBron James.
Yes,
That's it.
I'm about to say this is a terrible way of wording it, but it's a lack of better ways of wording it. She's not important enough. She's not important enough to save, and I think that's really. And the point that I am making is that I find that really sad.
And you found it hypocritical because to you, any American's life
That's
or
right,
any
baby.
American citizen is worth saving.
Let's go get them. No, seriously, if we want to get a team together, I'm your guy. Never mind. We'll talk. Holler. I got you. Anyway, holler. So
Hashtag Free Britney.
hashtag Free Britney. So I watched the YouTube clip that you sent me. I did,
Yeah, and the YouTube-
I did the cliff notes. I did not watch the documentary.
Of course, inside the clip I sent you, though, if you look in the description on that video,
Yeah.
it gives you a link to the documentary. Now, I'm not sure if there's a paywall or not on that one, so I don't want to misinform you on that.
Right.
But that's the name of the documentary. If you want to take that into Google and do what you do, I'm sure you can
yes.
find what you're interested in finding. Plus, I think it's on YouTube anyway.
There be a pirated version.
But you've finally seen the footage of what I was talking about, and it's
yeah,
weird,
it's creepy,
right?
man. It's weird. First
It's
off,
unprovoked.
yeah. Here's the deal: kids coming up and all of them speaking coherently. That in itself is frightening for me. Okay, because like I'm not
Now,
used
this
to
was an
children doing-
aerial school in Ruwa, Zimbabwe, which means that these are, this is a school with curriculum. So there's a reason that they can
sure.
speak well.
Right. Well, no, I was meaning because I'm used to like my children who are like okay, have you ever heard a 5-year-old? Yeah, you have a 6-year-old. Like they tell a story. It's terrible. It's absolutely awful.
Oliver's is getting better, but yes.
Yeah, he's older than Harley.
Yeah,
But
by a-
Harley's getting.
Yeah, a little bit. You're right, though. I know the gibberish talk. Well, it's not even gibberish because
It's
it's
just
words.
incoherent. There's
It
no
trails
theme.
off. It trails off, and they don't have subject verb agreement. They don't have. They don't come back to the original topic at hand.
Yeah.
There's no conclusion.
I
There's
know,
nothing.
and then they just walk off after they're like, yeah. And they don't control volume very well either. And it's very, like, it makes my anxiety
I love you,
skyrocket.
buddy. He's not wrong.
Yeah, he said, oh my God.
But
Anyway,
these
what were we doing?
kids
Oh,
did
yeah.
not talk like that.
No. They were just the way they were so clear, and they gave all of them maybe slight differences, but I mean it was the same story.
Yeah,
it's
they all had their own little twist on it.
Yeah.
However, it was like they were witnessing the same thing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, don't forget about this." And
yeah,
then another
I
kid
say
be like,
that's
"Yeah,
the way.
right."
Yeah, that's the way it was feeling. It was more like, "Hey, I'm telling everyone what we saw last night because all of us saw it together." And then there'd be like a kid like, "Oh yeah, don't forget about that time it picked me up, shook me around like an old dog." And they were like, "You didn't see it. You were asleep.
2 weeks
Timmy."
in a row with the dog.
Yeah, thank you. Why are we shaking dogs on this show?
I don't know.
God. I'm kidding. We're not. I love dogs. Anyway, I don't know. That got weird. So aliens and stuff. So these kids, they of course, I know that you talked a little bit about it last week, so I
Yeah.
won't go into too much. But the way they describe the aliens is like the same ones that you would get guitar picks shaped like it back in the 90s, like out of a quarter machine. They were garbage guitar picks. I'm not a guitar person. Anyway.
I think I have one in my wallet.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. But I don't know. Like it's strange. Could it be fake? Of course, it could be fake. They're kids.
Yeah.
Kids can do that.
It goes back to the lack of discernible proof of anybody's claims, other
Sure.
than UFO videos that
Sure.
they're still taken from so far away. You're not right up on it. And
Yeah, it's not
what's
like you
the
can
old,
just say,
What's the
like,
old expression? Until you bring me a body and like lay it in front of me, I'm not going to believe you.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've always looked at things from a skeptic point of view.
Sure.
So I fully believe in the possibility of such.
Sure. Yeah, I like
But
that.
I'm always
big on the
skeptical.
possibility.
I'm always skeptical
Sure.
of the people who proclaim to have seen, witnessed things.
Yeah, I was out
Because-
there just drinking a PBR with my buddy. That's always
Pick me up.
No, I'm not gonna say it again, bro. Wait,
Yeah, you
pick
would.
me up with his mind powers, shook me around like an old dog.
Poor dog.
I'm like, why is this hillbilly shaking that dog?
And why does he keep getting picked up? The same guy.
It's the
Earl,
same-
get out of that trailer park.
Well, if I stay here, they might come back. Still trying to sign up for the probe unit. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but because of the lack of circumstantial evidence to that extent, that's why I'm always skeptical. But the testimony of these kids has lived up to lie detector tests.
Yeah.
It's lived on for 20 plus years. Not a single one of them has changed their story.
Yeah, there ain't none of those adults now that are backing off their story.
Not a single one.
I mean, and that's saying a lot. Because you know what I mean? Like if it had been a lie as an adult, this person would have been like,
Don't
Don't
get me
remember-
wrong. More than half of them refuse to talk about it now that they're adults.
I would imagine that's
But
probably a smart decision.
yeah, but not a single one of them has come forward and said no.
Nobody's
did not see it."
denying
Yeah,
it.
nobody has denied it.
Just
Even-
don't want to talk.
they just don't
about
want to talk about it because they don't want to be harassed by people like us.
it. I don't blame them because we are the worst. kind of
They don't want Joe Rogan fans following them and saying, "Hey, I heard Joe and Duncan talking about this story."
Then there's to be two like Wish versions of the same people, and they're like, "Well, we listened to it on the Hoot Hop show." I don't know why they talk like this. Probably because they be from here. But
Probably. Well, you forget about our viewers in Ireland.
it's true. I'm not even gonna do that today. I'm nasally.
You're not going down that road.
Nah, I don't want to get beat up. Irish
Well-
people are born beat up. So.
Well, anyway, that just because of the lack of circumstantial evidence doesn't like take any fuel away from the fire that I believe that all of this could be possible, and we're just getting closer and closer to that evidence that I'm waiting for.
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm skeptical, but this testimony from these children is one of the more alarming testimonies that I've seen, just because of the vivid detail and the images and the nothing to gain. Like the people that found out about this didn't find out about this because someone was like, "Oh, we're gonna go find the news and flag them down so we can be on the news about this."
Yeah, right.
Because this was 1993.
Yeah.
What happened is these kids had these incidents, and a child psychologist came to investigate what's going on with so many testimonies from so many children this age. And then the evidence that he found just got creepier and creepier. And then the more that he found more of these testimonies and was finding more and more evidence, then he dies in Europe, stepping off a curb, gets hit by a vehicle, and dies before his research is able to be finished.
That seems a little bit. What's the word? Sus.
It does sound a little sus, but fortunately, other people have picked up the baton. That's why the documentary exists.
Sure.
Because other people have continued the research. The only difference is the man, and I apologize, I had his name last week and I forgot it already, but he is like a Pulitzer Prize winning like scientist. He is incredible. Or Nobel Peace Prize. I'll look it up. I'll do the research right now. But what do you think?
As far as what, like, are we alone?
This particular incident.
Yeah, man, I think okay. So once again, I stay on the skeptic. I mean, do I think that this is yeah, I think it happened. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I do look at it the same way as you do. I'm skeptical, but at the same time, I'm like, why would the kids lie?
Yeah, they don't.
They have no reason to. They don't. It's not like, and especially as adults, whenever you got half of them that are like, nah, I'm not talking about this. You know, it would. All signs would point to it being true, in my opinion.
So the sighting at Ariel occurred at 10 a.m. on September 16th, 1994, when pupils were outside during a mid-morning break. The adult faculty at the school were inside at a meeting at the time. The entire incident lasted about 15 minutes. When the children returned to class, they had told the teachers what they had seen, and that's when all of this, the fallout from this happened. When they returned home, they told their parents. Many of their parents came to the school to try to figure out what happened, ask the faculty. The sighting then got reported on the news of ZBC Radio, which is where Cynthia Hind learned about it. Cynthia Hind being the woman that was in that video. Hind visited the school the next day. She interviewed the children and asked them to draw pictures of what they had seen. She reported that the children had all told her the same story. We saw the evidence of that.
Yeah.
The BBC's correspondent in Zimbabwe visited the school on September 19th to film more interviews with the pupils, staff, and Hind. After investigating, Leach claimed, "I could handle war zones, but I cannot handle this." Again, he's a war zone reporter, so that's interesting comment from him. Then that November, Harvard University professor of psychiatry John Mack visited the Ariel school to interview witnesses. Throughout the 90s, Mack had investigated UFO sightings and had a particular interest in alien abduction phenomenon. In May 1994, the dean of Harvard Medical School, Daniel C. Tolstolston, appointed a committee of peers to confidentially review Mack's clinical care and clinical investigation of the people who had shared their alien encounters with him, and some of these were used in a book that Mack wrote in 1994 called Abduction. The issue is that Mack had communicated to these people that their experience may be real, so that was why the Harvard took issue with his style of interrogation, I suppose. After 14 months, Harvard reissued a statement stating that Dean had reaffirmed Dr. Math's academic freedom to study what he wishes and state his opinions without impediment. Excuse me, I'm having trouble reading. Yeah, there's big difference in words there.
Yeah,
without impediment.
That's weird.
Concluding, Dr. Mack Dr. Mack remains a member of good standing with the Harvard faculty, so they validated his credentials as a psychiatrist.
Well, good.
So, according to the interviews of Hind, Lind, and Mack, 62 children between the ages of 6 and 12 have claimed to have seen at least one UFO. Not all the children did claim to see the sighting. The basic details of the sightings were consistent. Details necessarily weren't. One or more objects were silver, described as disc, usually in the sky. They floated down to a field of brush and small trees outside the property. Between 1 and 4 creatures with big eyes dressed in black exited the craft and approached the children. At this point, many of the children ran, but some, mostly older students, stayed and watched. According to Mack's interviews, the creatures then telepathically communicated with the children an environmental message before returning to the craft and flying away. According to Dunning, the telepathic message aspect of the story is not included in Hind or Leach's reports, only Mack's, although Hind did report it later. In Mack's interview, one fifth grader tells how warned about something is going to happen. Pollution mustn't be. 11-year-old said, "I think they want people to know we're harming this world and mustn't get too technologic." And that's in 6, so it was said like that because of a kid.
Yeah.
One kid said that he was told the world was going to end because we weren't taking care of the planet. The children were animated and were adamant and when that they had not seen a plane. Hind noted that the difference in the cultural background of the children gave rise to different interpretations of what they had seen, although they did not all believe they were extraterrestrials. Some noted the children thought the short little beings were tickleushes, which are creatures of folklore of, I guess, that region, African folklore. So, and I heard some, it doesn't say it right here in this article, a couple of the kids mentioned they thought they were angels because the way that they were glowing and their messages of do better.
Yeah.
So some interpreted it as angels, but again, as the psychologist has said, all of it came back from their various backgrounds of how they had been
Sure,
raised,
yeah.
how they would interpret it.
Right.
Which is fair, but what was notwithstanding is the kids had witnessed something.
Something. Yeah.
So that's the research. Before Matt could completely finish his work, like I said, he was tragically ran over when he was somewhere abroad. I believe it was in Europe. But it's just wild that all of this investigation, and that's what, at the end of the day, the evidence is.
Yeah.
So it's still testimony. I've never been able to go off of testimony, like we talked about earlier with the Bob Lazar thing.
Yeah.
He's been debunked so much because of his lack of credibility as a character witness. And I assume you know, having been in law enforcement, you can validate that character witness is not always something you can go by. Very rarely.
Yeah. If you're hinging your whole defense on a character witness, you're in trouble. You know. So I tell you what. Let me.
I'm gonna let you lay out here, brother. Form is yours. I want to hear your take on all this
Well,
because I've been rambling on. But
Well, here's the thing, and this is something that we kind of talked a little bit about, and you probably know more about it than I do. But what if these things, aliens, angels, tickle tushes,
Whatever that was,
whatever
right?
that was, yeah. What if?
I love. There's the name of the episode.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
But
What if they are? What if they're us? What if they're humans, right?
okay,
But they're not from the same Earth. They're from Earth because they're humans, right?
okay,
But they're not from the same Earth we're from.
okay.
So,
That in itself does lend into a number of theories as well.
sure. So the one I'm referring to would be the multiverse theory.
Yes.
And the reason I'm segueing like this is because I will be talking about the new Doctor Strange movie shortly, but let's get into this, right? So, because in the multiverse theory, there's essentially an infinite amount of
Potential universes that
Yeah,
are happening coinciding
yeah,
at the
exactly.
same time.
Parallel dimensional planes where basically we're all living, but it's a different form of reality.
Even if it's just a minor, insignificant change or if it's a major change.
Sure, like there could be a universe where this is the Brandon Torres show, where I'm just kind of a wrestling and anime dude, and he's just outspoken. He's like, Donald Trump should be voted emperor of the world. You know what I'm saying? And we'd be like, what is this, opposite world? And they'd be like, yeah. We're like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
all
like,
right.
what's going on here? But you're not wrong. In that theory, in
Sure.
that scientific theory
Yeah.
of the multiverse, anything is possible across a multi-planes of universes.
Yes.
It's just we don't have any overlapping that we're aware of, at least in our universe.
Sure.
We don't know of the capabilities of it, although there's conspiracy theories abound with what they're doing in CERN.
Yeah,
And,
right, over
you know, when
there,
they
I
flip
wanna
on that
know.
machine, all of a sudden we all got Mandela affected.
Yeah. And you know what? You ever seen the movie Memento? Hell, it ain't as good the second time. See what I did there? That was a joke. It wasn't a good one, but anyway. Just move all that shit. Anyway, but yeah, man. Like, so the multiverse theory, it's cool. And if you know enough about it, it's probably super interesting to talk about. But me, I'm like, yeah, man. Like, so I could be a chick, you know, in
much,
one
yeah.
universe. And they're like, yeah, man. That's
What
that's
is that
it.
rule 34 of the internet or whatever, where for every topic there's porn topic? The
Yeah.
equivalent of it. Essentially, that's what, like, for every topic there is a weird parallel universe
Where
of
that, yeah, right,
Like, there's a universe where we are lizard people.
yeah,
But I mean, like, we're all lizard people. Like, the Earth is inhabited by lizard people.
Yeah.
That's the theory, is that because time exists in that way, we're able to have anything happen across any parallel plane.
right.
But what we're talking about in this specific instance, what if these visitors were human and they just crossed over the plane that we're not able to cross?
Like, and maybe this UFO, this capsule, this ship, is their way to be able to travel through the multiverse.
You know what? That is an interesting theory, but I can't debunk it right off the bat.
Right.
so-
Well, here's the thing: if we can't debunk that it's aliens, we can't debunk that it's humans from a different universe. That's just the way it is.
Again,
It's
until they
just-
show up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Until they show up, then I'll be like, "Hey, y'all human?" I'd be like, "What? Do we look human?" I'd be like, "Nah, but bro, I've been looking into this multiverse thing." They'd be like, "Oh my god, us too!"
What up, my glib glob?
Yeah, my glib glob.
Yeah,
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Yeah, don't say that. That's offensive.
Love it. Love it. What up, my glib glob? Don't do that. That's offensive.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the multiverse theory and parallel universe theory, along with extraterrestrial theory, does appear in the old Rick and Morty.
Yeah, man.
So it's not out of the world of possibility. Now, I may be taking a big old bong rip watching an episode of Rick and Morty and then thinking about life.
I'd be like,
But that still
Take it
doesn't
easy,
that
you're
still
fine.
doesn't mean, that until we have this evidence, I'm probably always going to be a skeptic. It's
Yeah.
like our ghost episode.
Yeah,
Again, go back
absolutely.
and listen to it.
Yeah.
It's dope.
it's creepy. Anyway, I thought it was creepy.
Yeah.
I lived that, so it was really creepy for me. But anyway, yeah.
Doctor
S-
Strange.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has been released on Disney Plus, and because my daughter loves Disney, I have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I watched the first Doctor Strange movie. This is the second one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's hard to
Yes.
keep track of them because they, each character overlaps into different movies
I'm
and
trying
stuff.
to think. I feel like it isn't, but it is.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
Yeah, Doctor Strange
And
just
we're
had
on
a really
Thor
big
4,
role.
right? We're on like Thor 4.
Yes. Yeah, Thor 4.
We're still in phase 4, guys. How long is this damn phase going to go?
I don't know because I was thinking about. We'll talk about it anyway. So I watched this movie. I'm not going to spoil it because honestly, I don't think I can. And I mean, I don't know that I could explain this movie enough to spoil it. It's pretty wild. It's a fun ride. Like it's not hard to understand when you watch it. It's just like there's so much going on that I was like, it's like, what was your favorite part? Yeah, man, that movie. It was a movie. It sure was. I know that by the time it was over, I was like, I like that. But I don't know much else about it.
It's the part where Benedict Cumberbatch was a smartass.
Yes. Oh,
Oh, that's
that.
anything he's ever done,
Yeah,
including when he was the voice of the dragon in that Hobbit movie.
that's true. He was
Smartass.
Smaug.
He was a smartass then. He was a
Yeah.
smartass dragon.
Yeah, smart ass dragon. That's what
think-
Smaug stands for, right? Oh no, that'd be Smaug.
Smaud.
Smaud. Smad. Okay, sorry. Let's be done with that. So yeah, he was doing his Doctor Strange, like he was like throwing up gang signs and stuff, and then like making shields come out of his hands, and then he was like, I'm a sorcerer, and like I got this stuff. No, that's on the other one. I was watching the Avengers too, the Endgame or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. It was a cool movie, but he finds a very special person they're introducing into the Marvel world, who can. Her power is to travel the multiverse.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, no,
Wrong movie.
no, yeah. Hey, that's a good point. Why isn't that movie available on Disney Plus? Keep Doctor Strange. Give me No Way Home, bro. I'm
Right.
trying to see Andrew Garfield.
Right.
What's
Right.
up? Come on.
I want to see that crossover.
That's right. I need it. So I want to see a single tear roll down Tobey Maguire's face. It's beautiful. I want to see Kirsten Dunst. Never mind. I don't.
Never mind. Take it back. Retract all previous
I don't
statements.
care to see Kirsten Dunst in anything. Sorry, I don't know.
You don't like it? Bring it on.
It's like you don't like it. I don't know. Say something about it. Bet you won't. Kirsten Dunst is in it. Oh, joking. I don't know, man. I guess I'm kind of like leaving it flat because I don't.
You don't want to step on it?
I don't want to step on this movie because it's still new enough out, like on the streaming platform.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so let me pull some questions out of you about it.
Okay, that'll be
All
good.
right. Is this one that you're going to rewatch?
Yeah, I will.
Are you going to rewatch it because you want to rewatch it to understand it better, or are you rewatching it because, man, that was so dope, I got to watch those scenes again?
Man, I'm gonna have to do the Just a very unsatisfying fence straddle on that. Probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because like
Unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Depends on your perspective, brother.
yeah, hey,
Heyo.
the pole's back there. Anyway, heyo.
Oh God.
Good night, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Canceled.
But
Canceled.
yeah, you both canceled. Just shut it down now. It was a good enough movie for me to want to watch it again.
Okay.
Because the action sequences are cool. I am going to go ahead and spoil one thing for you. No, I'm not either. I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not going to do it. It's really dope though. But there's like so many of their little battle scenes and all the the magic and the mind bending and everything. that goes
Yeah,
on.
and plus it's multiverse of madness, so I'm assuming there's multiple Doctor Stranges in the same scenes.
Actually, not as often as you think. It does happen. It does happen, but it only happens like once.
Oh, interesting.
It
It was more than that in the Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right. They like fought crime together and stuff. It was weird.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I just guessed. Anyway, spoiler. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I like. They only do like 2 Doctor Strange in the room at the same time. Like
Okay,
once.
so they're not going where you would anticipate it's going.
No,
'Cause
but-
you're
but-
thinking
but I-
multiverse. You're thinking, okay, then we're going to have multiples of the same people, but from different planes fighting all together. And Yes and no?
Yes and no. They're not fighting all together. They're like all on the same mission.
but
they're-
like in their own, they're
Yeah.
staying in their lane.
Yeah, everybody's staying in their lane. Everybody knows their job. Everybody knows what it is, you know what I mean? But no, what I don't. Okay, look, what I want to talk about on this is the reason I'll rewatch it, bro. Everybody talking about Mary Kate and Ashley. Everyone's sleeping on this Elizabeth Olsen. Good Lord, this is a violent trick. Oh my God. Hey, look, man, I'm being serious. Like, if you don't want your child exposed to gore, even in a fantasy setting,
Yeah.
don't watch this movie. Like this,
I
the,
know
the
Scarlet-
Scarlet Witch
yeah,
is
Scarlet
a
Witch-
bad.
Yeah. Mamma Jamma, shut your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah. I recall that was the early review when it was in the theater that
Very
this was
violent.
violent.
yeah, very violent. I
and
liked it.
And I recall that towards the end of what was it, WandaVision? It was getting a little bit more violent.
Well, it was turning very dark because
Yeah.
she was going from Wanda to the Scarlet Witch
Yeah,
at
she
the
was
end of
changing.
WandaVision. And then, like, in this, good Lord, in this movie, my soul. Hey, I can't ask these questions, bro. I can't ask these questions or I'll spoil the movie. Because I was like, hey, you'll know the answer to this. Go watch that movie. Oh, you can't.
I'll figure it out.
It's the type of lowbrow stuff I'm into. All right. Anyway, yeah. So I tell you what, we'll just because I'm so like
You wanna pick this up next week? We can.
I do. Hey, listen. If you listen to this show, then y'all watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And if you're not going to,
We'll give next week's show. We'll give a disclaimer.
I'll give a
and-
disclaimer right before I actually tell you some more about it.
And
We'll
I'll
talk about this movie.
And
a
I'll
little
do
more.
an edit in post where I'll say spoilers begin now.
Yeah.
And that way I'll tell you where you can skip to and spoilers are gone.
Yeah, okay, there you go. All right. I like
got
that.
you.
I like that. So I tell you what, let's do, because I thought this was fun. I got this little thing saved, a link.
Hold on. Before you continue, I do say that I will watch it under one thing.
Uh-huh.
You have to finish The Man from Toronto.
Yeah, I do, because, we're going to talk about it this week
Yes.
because in honor of our highest downloaded show, Whoa, where we talked about all great things Canadian, including Keanu, Brendan Fraser, and the wonderful television series Letterkenny. That was a pretty popular show. So we
Yeah.
were like, hey, let's give a throwback and holler at our Canadian brethren. And we're gonna do another show. I watched the Letterkenny spinoff Shoresy.
Yeah. You said
which-
it was good.
I enjoyed it. Of course, I liked
Letterkenny.
So if you didn't like Letterkenny, you're not gonna like this.
it's Letterkenny humor, so you got to keep that in mind.
It's Jared Kiso. It's the same guy. Wayne is Shoresy. Shoresy is Wayne. It's the same person. Anyway, maybe not the same character, but it's the same person. So it's going to be the same humor. He's also the creator of both shows. Anyway, so I will watch that because I tried to a couple times this week.
And life happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I just didn't get to. But I will finish The
Okay,
Man from
cool,
Toronto, and we'll
cool.
talk about both of them next week.
It sounds like a plan, brother.
Can we make we can spin it to where Benedict Cumberbatch is Canadian, right? I'm sure
We'll
he's.
find a way.
He looks at least.
Well, that's the name of next week's episode. Benedict Cumberbatch is a Canadian.
Yeah, yeah. They'll be like, no, he's not.
But they'll click it.
Yeah, they will. Anyway, hey, that's what we're here for. We're
We're clickbait, if nothing
yeah,
else.
If nothing else. Okay, so I wanted to end this though with reading some of these things. The title is "Stereotypical Things Americans Do in Movies and TV Shows That Make No Sense to Non-Americans." Okay,
Okay, so
that was a super wordy title.
You're gonna hit me with this list. We haven't rehearsed this. We haven't gone
No.
over it, so I have no idea where you're going with this. But I do understand what you're saying. It's
Basically,
tropey
it's-
stuff that happens in American sitcoms that we happen here, and then other people are like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah, right. And they're asking like, "Is that real?
Is that
and,
a
and
thing
like,
y'all
there's
do?
a lot of times that I'm looking, I'm like,
No.
I know what you're talking about in the movies because even us, we're like, nobody does that.
Yeah. So let's go.
Okay, let's see here. Let me hold on. I had to pull it up. I'm sorry. Okay, for instance, this is a good one. Do Americans really have the last 4 digits of their social memorized, or is it just one of those TV things just to save time?
No.
I was like, nope.
That's a real thing.
I have my last 4 memorized. You want to
Which
know why?
that-
Because we have to give it out for everything.
That's interesting. Did the foreign people not have a code or a number or something associated with their identity for governmental purposes?
They frown on that in Europe now. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a dark joke, but it's also some truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Back in the '39, there was this asshole who started
I get
putting
that,
numbers
but
on folks.
I'm just saying, having a number
Yeah,
associated with
I mean, essentially like, Native American roll numbers
Yeah.
or American Social Security numbers or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure there's some identifying number
There
of
would
some
have to be to
kind.
keep track of governmental stuff, right?
So, okay,
That's why
so-
we have ours.
So how about this? If you're one of our European listeners, UK, anywhere in Europe, anything like that, let me know. Like, what do y'all do? Y'all got Social Security numbers? If you do, why don't you have them memorized?
We're gonna get a smart ass tweet from somebody that just says, "Why don't you just use Google, you ass?"
Yeah, well, I could Google it, but I'm trying to get you to talk to me, you ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, come over here and say that. I'm joking. There's going to be some huge English dude like Vinnie Jones knocking on my door, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, sir, but I'm here to whoop out of you." And I'll be like, "Oh, I don't know why he would talk like that either, but
Is he Pip from Great Expectations?
yes. Please, sir, may I have more?" Yeah, I turned him into like
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. Yeah.
Oh, the Dickens.
Anyway, okay, so this one says it's mental that Americans in films always think being able to tie a tie is some quirky skill. Okay, so even though I know the attitude you mean behind that, I get it.
Yeah.
In America, it's kind of a quirky skill to have now.
It's because not enough Americans wear ties.
Yeah, it's true. Like we don't wear suits anymore. Look at me. I busted my sleeves off for this thing because first off, I work a blue collar job and I've been off work for several hours now, so that's why I look like a bum. But I mean, I don't wear a tie. I don't ever wear a tie. I know how to tie a tie. I've been tying a tie for a long time. I was in the military, so I always had to have that on lock. But I just don't wear a tie. So whenever I run into someone who's like, "Oh, I don't know how to tie a tie," I don't know. I guess it just doesn't really like. I don't know if I meet a grown man that doesn't know how to tie a tie, though, I judge him
it.
instantaneously. I'm like, I bet you. I don't know. I bet you do something that is stereotypical and funny. I don't know. I'm sorry.
We'll edit around that one.
Wah, wah. I just leave it. Who gives anymore?
But no, I see what you're saying because I too know how uncommon it is for people to know how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
Like I've tried to
I've just
It's
run
not-
into
it's
so
not-
many people who don't know how that. Like whenever I'm like, oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
put it,
so
I, like,
it's-
I, hey,
it's
look,
a
I put
thing.
it on my resume.
it's a thing. Yeah. It's a thing. Americans don't really necessarily know how to tie ties. Just
yeah,
as
yeah.
general.
We're not fancy over here, man. I mean, at least not where we're from. I promise you, it ain't fancy around here.
Yeah, maybe if you're wandering around Wall Street, they might know how to tie ties. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Maybe out there in Tinseltown. I don't know. Anyway, all of our UK and European listeners right now are like, these We're done. These guys are idiots. We're done.
No, we're trying to figure this out.
Okay, do Americans actually do high school reunions, or is that just TV shows and movies? Whenever I read that, I was like, no, that's very legit. Like,
Yeah, no,
like
they-
I don't go to them.
I don't go to them,
Yeah.
but they have them.
Yeah, but they
I
have
see
them all the
Facebook
time. Yeah.
pictures, yeah.
Of, like the 3 people I went to high school
So
with.
other
that I-
countries don't do that when they graduate from university.
Yeah. Oh, we went to university. Oh, did you? We call that college. It's like, oh, university. I'm like, no.
Yeah, we call it college too.
And it's like, we also call it college. I'm like, why do you call it university then? You trying to be better than me?
You trying to gussy it up?
Yeah, trying to get all fancy. Golly. Okay, this is one that I actually sided with the person. It says, do Americans actually heat up water in the microwave, or is that just in TV shows? That had better
That's
be
gotta
in
be in
TV,
TV
shows,
shows,
right?
right?
Who the hell microwaves water?
What?
If you microwave water, just know that we are not okay. You and I are not okay.
What
If you
yellow belly lint liquor does that?
For real. Who you calling a cootie queen? You lint liquor. Anyway, move past that. Who microwaves water, though?
Right? I don't know. That's a weird one.
That is communism at its finest. Oh, my God. Do Americans actually have to dissect frogs for school, or is that just a TV thing?
I believe that you
Pigs.
don't anymore.
I would say I dissected a pig.
I
one day.
dissected a frog.
You did a frog?
But you also went to a different rural area, and I went in an urban area. So
Sure,
it's
yeah.
probably
Frogs are easy to get. Much easier than the pigs.
And also, imagine how many pigs they would have to bring in for
For
the size of a Fort
real.
Smith public school.
yeah, where you got 400 people in a class, where we've got like 7.
Yeah, we have like 5 classes of 30. It's a lot of pigs.
Do Americans really be having kids play trees in school plays, or is that just a TV
Now, hold
thing?
on, what?
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Do Americans really be having really be having kids play trees in a school play, or is that just a TV thing?
No.
It's real, bro.
It's real,
make 'em-
brother.
They make them play trees, bro.
They wear this. They wear the costume. They stand the whole time.
Look, they're wearing essentially a giant toilet paper roll with some green paper.
holding their arms out like this for 45 minutes.
Yeah, with actual tree branches from the yard in each hand, and some green spray paint in their hair.
They look like a big piece of broccoli.
They look like the tree that sits outside the crack house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you
It's
know
a-
where the
it's
trap
a-
house is, that's the tree.
That's a real thing, though. We do make our children be trees in place.
Here was one that I'm sorry, I'm still on the trees. Okay, this one. Okay, this one actually surprised me. It says, "Wait, do Americans actually have cheerleaders, or was that just in TV?" No, we absolutely have cheerleaders.
Not only do we have cheerleaders, we celebrate our cheerleaders.
Yeah, we do.
We absolutely do.
I don't know.
mean,
That made me sound creepy. I don't. We do though. We celebrate. I don't know. Move fast. Golly, well, the way I said
that's
that.
the funniest joke of the episode.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was really.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
Wait, God.
I said it
wait, damn
weird.
it! I retract that.
Yeah,
yeah, we do. We
Yes,
do.
so we do. The emphasis was all wrong. Understand? Let's see here. Oh, okay. This is another one I didn't understand, and this I don't know. I didn't understand it when I was a young kid. Now, as I got older, I get it. It says, "Do Americans actually call their friends' parents like Mrs. Blank or Mr. Blank, or is that just a thing in movies?" I was like, I usually, at least for the first like year I know somebody, it was always Mr. and Mrs. so and so. Up until they're like, "Oh, stop calling me that." You can
Are we
call
talking
me.
like other people's parents?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's always Mr. and Mrs. Whoever.
Yeah.
I didn't call my friends.
Yeah, I'm not gonna-
parents like, hey Kim, can I have something to drink?
Hey, do you want to know why? And I will say names on this because I know that my homeboy listens to the show, and his name is Brandon, and it's not you. He's a much whiter version of you.
Oh.
He's he looks like a Norwegian. Anyway, I don't know. He's like, shut up.
Flattery will get you nowhere,
Yeah,
sir.
That's right. So anyway, my homeboy Brandon Groscrews, his father, who I will refer to by his rank, is a Colonel Groscrews in the United States Army. He is retired, but whenever I met him, he was not retired. Now I had aged into that, idiot phase of life, 15, 16. I was a respectful young man. I really was because, my dad'd go upside my head if I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I had always done the whole Mr. and Mrs. Blank, right? And my whole life has always been, you could call me blank. So I never got introduced to my homeboy's parents. I was just over at his house a lot. And I just kind of picked up on their names. So one day when I got there, I ran into his dad out in the driveway, and I said, "Hi, Frank." To which he turned and looked at me and goes, "That would be Mr. Groscrews to you." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he walked away. I walked into the garage where my homeboy was, and I was like, so this just happened.
So a thing just happened.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm just letting you know, I think your dad might want to kill me. I don't know if I should sleep here anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, "You're killing me with his thumb." But anyway, so apparently, Colonel Groscrews had gone inside and essentially done the same thing I'd done and told his wife, "Can you believe this little booger-eating jackass out here called me by my first name?" To which Mrs. Groscrews replied, "Frank, he's been calling us Frank and Lisa for the past 6 months. This is the first time you've noticed?" He said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, no." He was like, "Oh." So he was really, really super awesome about it. And I never made the mistake of calling him by his first name again. To this day, I see him, I refer to him as Colonel and Mrs. Groscrews. But that was interesting.
Wow.
So to answer your question, yes, we refer to them as Mr. and Mrs.
Until told otherwise.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be a smart ass kid like Hoot over here.
Yeah, well, and I wasn't even trying to be.
What's up, player?
Yeah, what up, home, voila? Yeah.
Pat him on the butt as you walk by.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to go up in here and hang out with my homie.
Yeah. So, where's your wife? I'm joking, Colonel. I'm joking. I'm so sorry.
Make me a sandwich. What?
Yeah, I say, man, that man would have killed me. Oh,
Legit.
my goodness. Okay, so let's see here. I'm trying to find a good one to end on. Dum da dum dum.
The suspense is killing me.
I know, it should be. Should be. Okay, we got to do more than one more because this one was insanity to me. And I don't know if this person is just sheltered or if I'm a disgusting human being. Okay, so check us out. Why do Americans on the TV always have blenders inside their sinks? They don't have garbage disposals in the UK or in Europe or
For real?
like. Am I like? I have a garbage disposal. I never knew that. That was like. Of course, I'm like, is it high class or is it gross? Like, why don't you have like? What you mean you don't have something that blends up your nasty leftover food?
They just dispose of it in the garbage, I guess.
Peasants.
But what keeps the larger items that when you're washing dishes that go collect in the... All right. I don't know.
Yeah, that's me.
Maybe it's our background and the fact that we, blue collar, we know plumbing. That just sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You're gonna tell me that you have never one time had to dig goopy, gross food out of your drain in your sink because you didn't have a garbage disposal?
Or have you had to reach your hand in there and clean out a garbage disposal because the garbage disposal wasn't enough to take down those potato skins or whatever it is you were eating?
That chicken bone that you decided to lodge down there, Terry.
So instead it just goes down their drain and they have to call a serviceman to come fix it? Is that what they do over there?
I guess.
Is that high class?
I have no
Whatever. Next.
Do Americans actually say "how you holding up," or is that just in films? I think the actual phrasing "how you holding up." I don't think I don't know that I've ever heard
it's a
anyone
little
actually.
archaic. Probably it's like, "How's it going?"
Yeah.
Whatcha?
Yeah.
What's it? That's English. It's what's it or how's it? It's like you guys don't even finish words.
Yeah.
Phrases. What's it?
Okay. You got to be from England, like not just the United Kingdom. You have to be from England. It says, do Americans actually celebrate the 4th of July? Because I feel like movies and TV shows make it seem bigger than it is.
No, negative.
I don't know a single.
It's as big a deal as they make it appear in the film. People go ham.
Yeah,
They,
listen,
they drink, they shoot off fireworks.
Yeah, I would
they
say
sing
there's
songs.
drinking, there's explosions, there's usually at least one mullet. I mean,
Somebody goes to the hospital. Somebody loses a finger. There's
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of madness.
Oh,
Some people
yeah.
fire their guns in the air.
yeah, I don't know.
I guess they think the fireworks will cover the gunfire.
yeah, you know, you just
pop, 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 pop,
people are
pop.
like, what was that? Huh? That last pop? I don't know. It's weird. What it sounded like it come from somewhere that wasn't up in the air. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's like, don't stand over there. They got to come down.
Okay, I'm trying to find a good one to end on. I'll try to because there's like 4 million of these. I'm not doing it. Do they actually have school merch? That's funny. It's showing like NCAA apparel.
Yeah.
It's like, do they actually have school merch or is that just in TV? I was like, we have it. Most of the time, it's aimed more towards our sports program, but
We have
like
it.
we do have it.
Yeah,
like
we
there's
have-
sure, there's plenty of people walking around in sweatshirts that say University of Arkansas
Yeah.
and doesn't say anything about a Razorback.
Not to mention, we have people that put alumni on their license plates. I don't think vanity plates are a thing in other countries.
No, like custom
Yeah, custom plates.
Yeah, we
to that
do.
extent.
Yeah, and we come up with some stupid ones too.
Yeah. Bling them out.
Yeah.
Throw extra lights on them. That way
Yeah.
they draw even more attention to the ugly thing we put on the back of a car.
Yeah.
Throw some truck nuts on it. Real
Yeah.
classy.
Yeah,
that.
class. Do Americans actually eat PB&J?
Had
Or-
one for lunch today.
Or is that like a fake movie thing? You are high out of your mind if you think that I don't eat a PB&J at least once a week.
Right?
You're crazy.
PB&J is good.
Bruh, that's
Not to mention you're getting the peanut butter, which is one of the purest forms of protein that you can ingest.
that's right. There's more protein in peanut butter than there is red meat. Okay? I don't know that that's accurate, but I'm gonna.
And you get your choice of jelly
Yeah.
or jam, depending upon what region you're from.
Sure, yeah, because
Preserve.
preserves. Shut up! It's strawberry jelly. It's like jam.
Like, no.
Shut up! Shut up! It's jelly to me. I'm
Welch's
a jelly.
grape jelly.
Yeah. Oh, Welch's grape Welch's grape is a staple in PB&J. I think that it. I feel like
it feels
though-
like you're either a Smucker's person or
Yeah.
you're a Welch's person.
Yeah, and like Welch's grape is just something special about it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna go to the other side, if you're gonna be like, yo, Smuckers, you gotta go with the strawberry on the PB, man. It's delicious.
So we got a comment here from my buddy Terrence. He's
Yeah.
watching our show.
Hey,
he
what's up?
says, "You guys mentioned Letterkenny and Shorzy. Did you know that Jared Kiso has another show on Acorn TV called 12 or 19 to 2, where he plays a cop?
No, I did not.
We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, you said it's on what?
Acorn TV.
The hell is Acorn TV?
I don't know, probably Apple TV. Maybe it could be autocorrect. I'll look it up. But he
So-
has the main
okay.
point is he has another show called
Okay.
1912.
Okay.
So you'll have to look that up. 'cause,
Yeah, I will,
mean,
man. Because is it like dramatic or is it a comedy or let me know about the show, homeboy.
Playing game in the NBA is here to stay. Just got that come through my news feed. Like it was, tentative whether they're going to keep doing it. Playing games are here to stay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So breaking news.
Okay, so
Acorn is amazing, or excuse me, is on Amazon.
oh, okay, I have Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, sweet. Got it.
Thanks, T.
Yeah, thanks, bro. You're awesome. You're great. Thank you for watching the show and thank you for commenting. I appreciate it a lot.
and thank everybody else for listening as well.
Yeah, that's right, man. Hey, man, for real, if you guys stayed with us this long, I mean, it's a longer episode, but enjoy it because it's been a multiverse of madness here. So,
And we're not going to do a sports show this week.
oh, that's very true. I forgot to tell you. If you're a normal listener to Garbage Time Sports, our other show, we are not going to do it this week, mainly because the Yankees are clapping cheeks. That's all you
That's
need to know about
baseball.
Major League Baseball. Summer League's going on. That's the NBA. Football, we're within 2 months of football, ladies and gents. So, just hang tight. We're in the dog days of summer now. We're just gonna have to ride it out, okay? And you might have to deal with a little more silliness out of the Hoot Hob show while we're biding time for more sports content. All right. So if you're a normal
7
sports
more
show
Saturdays till
That's right.
Razorbacks.
That's right. 7 more Saturdays. All right, then.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, thanks for sticking with us on a long episode, but a fun episode, I think, of the Hood Hog
Yeah,
Show.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I've had a blast, brother.
Yeah, this is good stuff here. So anyway, you guys check us out on YouTube. Download us at Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever. Just find us, download us, follow us, talk to us. Hell, we'll invite you to come be on the show. At this point, hey, no holds barred. We're good. Let's do it. I'm getting a big no. I'm sorry, you can't come on the show. Sorry. I'm joking.
We're rescinding the invite.
Yeah, the invite's been rescinded. I'm sorry. All right, guys, like I said, just find us on the socials, follow us, download us, all that good stuff. We will be back next week to do another live stream and record all that good stuff. Love you guys. From BT, from myself, we bid you good night.